It's the Mustang Insider Show presented by Cal Portland, the largest building materials company of cement and construction material products on the West Coast. Now, here's Chris Sylvester, the voice of the Mustangs.
And we welcome you to another edition of the Mustang Insider, powered by Cal Portland. I'm Chris Sylvester, your host, as we get ready to flip the calendar to the month of October. Fall sports in full swing at Cal Poly, and many of the fall sports teams are starting to play at their best. That includes Cal Poly Volleyball. We're going to talk some Mustang volleyball in just a moment, but if you're worried about rising PG&E rates, go solar, pay less on your monthly bills. From seamless installs to custom financing solutions, the experts at AM Sun Solar do it all. Visit amsunsolar.com. That's AM Sun Solar, your local solar experts here on the Central Coast. All right, we're going to talk with a defensive expert on the volleyball hardwood. She is the reigning Big West Conference Defensive Player of the Week, true freshman from Aptos, California, up north. Peyton Dueck is our guest on the Mustang Insider. Peyton, thanks so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to join us. You're a true freshman, so on top of the whole volleyball thing, you're trying to balance the academics and getting accustomed to San Luis Obispo and a routine as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we just started last week, so I'm kind of just getting in the groove with the whole college academics with all my practice and games and such. So, I mean, it's definitely a challenge, but I'm getting through it. And so, yeah.
Obviously, the volleyball season started a little bit before the school year. What are some things you've noticed as your classes have started, trying to balance that with everything that is demanding of you with the volleyball season?
Yeah, I mean, it was super nice not having classes, of course, during the first part of the season, like unlike other schools who started like back in August. So it's kind of, we had that advantage of not having classes, but now that they're coming around, you kind of just have to time manage better and just know when like you need to do your schoolwork and you have practice and have to just create time for all that other stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a challenge, like I said, but just got to work around it.
Yeah, to any aspiring collegiate student athletes out there, time management is like the term that I've heard more than any other term associated with being a student athlete, especially at Cal Poly with how demanding the academics are. You're a true freshman, which means that you weren't here last year. It's not like you were hoping to play a season at Cal Poly last year and it just didn't work out and you had to wait a long time. You arrived on campus in the summer with everybody else that started this new volleyball campaign and a comeback campaign of sorts after there was no season at all in the 2020-2021 school year. You didn't have an indoor season at the high school level. You played a little bit of beach up north in high school. So what's it been like back on the hardwood inside playing indoor volleyball?
Yeah, well, I was actually fortunate enough to play in a club season before coming here. So it was definitely good to get in the gym earlier before this. But yeah, the team is back in the gym and playing, and it's great to work with the coaches and the players. During the summer, it's kind of just like captain practice. And so now the coaches are in starting back in August. And so it's good that we're getting our team together and ready for this season and ready to dominate. So it's obviously nice to have our season. And so, yeah.
Peyton Dueck, the Big West Defensive Player of the Week after a couple of Big West victories to open the conference schedule. Our guest here on the Mustang Insider, presented by Cal Portland. So when you were playing at the high school level, when did you start to think that, hey, I might be able to do this at the Division I level?
Well, I committed to Cal Poly back right after my freshman year going into sophomore. But I've been playing volleyball my whole life. I've always wanted to go collegiately with this sport. I'm fortunate enough to be here for both indoor and beach because I love both sports. And so kind of just my whole life, I've been just like, that's my main goal. And I was very grateful enough to have the opportunity to come to Cal Poly for both these sports. So yeah, just these past 3 years since I committed, I've just been working hard to get ready to be here. So yeah.
Hey, you serve as a libero on the team, and obviously your defensive performance got the attention of everybody in the Big West Conference on its opening weekend with wins at Long Beach State, a come from behind 5-set victory at Cal State Fullerton, which I'd imagine feels really good coming off of a tough non-conference schedule against a lot of teams that we're going to be seeing in the NCAA tournament later on here in 2021. You won a state championship back in 2019 in high school. How much did that maybe help you to prepare for the tough competition that you've seen so far in your freshman year at Cal Poly?
I mean, just the hard work throughout each season to just like push for those goals that you're like hoping to get each year. But yeah, that year was super fun. I was actually an outside for high school, so it was different. Definitely because I'm libero here, but yeah, that just prepared for me just to like the excitement and just like getting prepared, working hard. I mean, it was a great success, but I just kept working hard in the gym to get ready for here. So yeah.
Well, certainly we'll get you ready for a Big West championship when that does, in fact, come around. Now, volleyball seems to be in the family. Your sister, Madison, played beach volleyball at Cal from 2017 to 2020. So when did you first pick up a volleyball, and who else in your family got you interested in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, it started with my sister. She started around like 12, 13. I started like peppering with my dad and like some players when I was like 7, 6-ish. And so that kind of just started off my love for the sport. I used to play soccer. And so I was kind of like soccer and volleyball, and chose volleyball, of course. But yeah, I mean, I started off with beach. And so that was such like a new thing. There wasn't a lot of tournaments for younger ages. And so I kind of just like gradually got into it. And then I got into club when I was like 11. I started at like Main Beach. I don't know if you know that club. I went to Main Beach and then Vision and then to Encore. And so I kind of, but my love for the sport kind of started with my sister and my dad. They kind of got me into it. I saw my sister and I always look up to her. And so I was like, oh, I want to start this and do this. This is fun. So they kind of got me into that. And yeah, I mean, here I am.
And it's pretty unique that you're playing both indoor and beach at Cal Poly. So much success both of those programs have had over the past handful of years on the indoor side and especially on the beach side as well, going to the NCAA tournament a couple of times as well. Peyton Dueck is our guest here on the Mustang Insider. Cal Poly Volleyball, they return home this weekend. That's going to be fun. You guys have only had one home match. Kind of hard to believe this deep into the season, more than a month plus now, that you guys have only played once inside Mott Athletic Center. Came really close against a good Texas A&M squad earlier this month, and you get ready to resume conference play this weekend. Did it kind of feel like you guys were able to hit the reset button after such a grueling non-conference schedule? It looked like a new team out there of sorts when you guys went to Long Beach State and beat a Long Beach team that had just racked up a top 25 victory the week prior.
Yeah, well, we've had 2 home games, Texas A&M and then LMU.
That's right.
But,
of course, you had the LMU game as well.
yes, yeah. I mean, I obviously wasn't here for when they weren't in conference, but all I know is my team worked their butts off last season just to like get us here, and obviously that's hard without like practicing without like games and stuff, so they definitely worked hard to be here. Yeah, but we have 7 freshmen this year, so it's kind of like a lot of new players to the team. I mean, I don't know a lot of like background information with like last year and such, but yeah, I mean, it's good to be on the court. We did lose one of like our star players, Maya, to an injury last season, so she's not here for this one. But hopefully we'll be back next season. But yeah, I mean, it was a great start off with Long Beach State and Fullerton. It's a great start to our season. We're hoping to do it again this weekend at Santa Barbara and CSUN. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, Santa Barbara, that's your rival down there, the blue-green rivalry. It goes on in every sport at Cal Poly. They're off to a nice start. That's going to be a tough competition off the bat here this weekend as you guys return home. Let's talk about Saturday's 5-set victory over Cal State Fullerton, because you guys were down 2-1 heading into that 4th set. What was the conversation like between head coach Caroline Walters, maybe some of the upperclassmen, when you guys were down 2-1 to kind of propel that comeback victory and get the SoCal sweep to open up conference play?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just take each set like with each different focuses. I mean, we were down, but we were kind of like, okay, like just get back in the groove. Like we needed our confidence to just boost back up, and so we went out there to execute and play our game. I think we just had to get refocused in that fourth and fifth set to play our game and just work hard like we do in practice every day. And so, I mean, I think we just got Fullerton's defense was super on point that night. And so I think we just had to make adjustments to their side of the court and focus on our side. I think we were super consistent with a lot of things. And that's basically what made us successful in the fourth and fifth set is staying consistent and playing our game on our side. And so that's basically what Coach Caroline and Jason were striving for those last sets.
What's been the biggest transition in your mind as an individual from the competition you faced at the club level, the high school level, and what you've seen here your first year of Division I volleyball?
I mean, it's so different. Like college volleyball is just so much more fast paced and like a lot of high level players. I mean, like college is all the top players that have been recruited to each school. So it's kind of like, it's just like a bunch of different competition. Whereas club, it's like a whole different kind of like look at it because it's, I mean, players from all over. So college just kind of narrows it down to like a lot of the top players. And so that's kind of a lot of competition in that part of it. And I mean, like I said, like the fast pace is kind of different. So you have to like keep up with that.
Speed of the game, tempo always seems to speed up the higher and higher you climb with levels in every sport, especially volleyball. Now, fresh off those two Big West Conference play opening wins at Long Beach and Cal State Fullerton, you played well. You guys as a team played well. What was your reaction when you got the notification that you were named Big West Defensive Player of the Week?
I mean, I'm like so grateful that I even have the opportunity, and I'm so honored. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we just played super well as a team. I mean, obviously they supported me, and they always have my back, so they have pushed me and helped me to get that. Obviously this week, so also my coaches, Coach Caroline, Jason, Peter, Becca, all the people behind are just helping me get here, and I'm super grateful to have that. So yeah. But
Peyton
yeah, that
Dueck,
first reaction was kind of just like, whoa, let's go. Like it's
that's
super exciting. So
That's sweet, and no pressure to pull off the repeat here this weekend as UC Santa Barbara and the CSUN Matadors come to town. What are you looking forward to the most about your first rivalry game on Friday? Where, by the way, should be a pretty fun atmosphere because the first 500 students get a Buck the Gauchos shirt. I mean, that's going to be a great environment, college volleyball at its finest here on the West Coast.
yeah, I mean, I'm super excited because I've never had this game against UCSB yet, especially at home. So I'm super excited about that. As you said, with the environment, I know a lot of fans are coming. So hopefully that will get us pumped up and ready to go. I think just we need to be focused out there and just execute and play our game. So yeah.
Peyton Dueck is our guest here on the Mustang Insider, presented by Cal Portland. Congratulations on opening conference play 2-0, and congratulations on the Defensive Player of the Week accolade. We hope to see you in the headlines again soon, and best of luck this weekend as you guys resume Big West play at home.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so Peyton Dueck of Cal Poly Volleyball already putting her fingerprints on the Big West, earning that Defensive Player of the Week honor. Again, Mustangs, after a tough non-conference slate, they have opened up the Big West 2-0, a chance to improve on that this weekend. Get out there and support them. 7 o'clock on Friday, UCSB rivalry game. Should be a really fun atmosphere. And then CSUN for a matinee affair, 2 o'clock. They get going inside the Mott Athletics Center on Saturday. All right, this podcast brought to you by Dignity Health, offering all-star treatment you can trust. To learn more about their healthcare services, visit dignityhealth.org/Central Coast. Hey, Cal Poly, we are the Central Coast. Mustang Athletics getting into full swing. Homecoming football game this Saturday at Spanos. Weber State, 18th ranked team in the FCS, comes to town. That is a 5:30 kick with a halftime spectacular show sponsored by Central Coast Honda. And don't forget, It is just the third home volleyball match Friday when UC Santa Barbara comes to town. Not the second. Peyton had to correct me on that. We do associate Daniel Gilman, the voice of Cal Poly Volleyball, with those games, and he was only on the call for the Texas A&M game, and he will be back in the broadcast booth on Friday night. So if you can't make it out, which we certainly hope you can, but we understand if you can't, gopoly.com will have the video and audio stream. Until next time, this has been the Mustang Insider presented by Cal Portland from Learfield.
This has been the Mustang Insider Show presented by Cal Portland, with a commitment to environmental leadership that has made the organization stronger and is the primary choice of contractors. The Mustang Insider Show. The preceding has been a Learfield's presentation on the Cal Poly Sports Network.